Hello guys, welcome to today's edition of BB Laid Beer. Now there's no live recording tonight. We will resume lives as of next week, continuing our conversations around mental health, and I will have a guest attending as well. Today I just wanted to kind of give you a little starter in terms of initiating conversations around mental health from my perspective and how important it has been in regards to me progressing and addressing a lot of things that prevented me from making the moves in life that I needed to. So in terms of just kind of looking back from when I was a child, I've had close people to me that have been affected greatly by mental health. But there was never any conversations had about this. And for me, talking is very, very powerful. Sometimes even just to get things off your chest. I actually do things myself, and everyone that has their own little thing that kind of works for them. And sometimes I could be really angry about something or upset about something, and just talking it out, there could be no one there. I could be just saying it to myself, but just airing it out and getting it off my chest is just like a sense of release, and that helps me. But in terms of communicating and talking about things that, delicate things to you, personal things, sometimes we don't realize the impact of, not talking about things, what that has on us later on in life. And I know that it made things a lot difficult in terms of communicating with other people, because I didn't have that skill when I was younger to really talk. And I'm not talking about just general chit chat. I'm talking about, deep conversations regarding your thoughts, your feelings, how things affect you, that kind of thing. So I didn't have that. And I just kind of became very, very good at using my good old acting skills to mask over a lot of things. Experiencing mental health issues myself, I suppose I hid it that well that a lot of people, without me telling them, had no idea. As far as they were concerned, Babs was cool, everything's cool, she's her usual jokey self and everything's all good. And, for a while, I thought, I can just do this. I can just keep covering it up and putting on that smile, But, it does begin to eat away at you, because the reality, your reality and your truth is that you have issues that need to be dealt with. Step one is acknowledgement of those issues, acknowledgement that you are struggling, and also just admitting that, hey, I need help, and it's okay to need help. And I think if you continue to kind of put on this facade with the world that everything's good and you're so strong and you can do this and you don't need help, you convince yourself that you don't need help, that you generally do not need help and you can just do this. And that's not healthy. It's good to have resilience, don't get me wrong, but you need to be able to just admit when things are not as they should be and that you are struggling. I got to a point even in my adult life that I was struggling that much that it was affecting me at work, to the point where you're so tearful that you can't even control the tears. They literally come out of nowhere. And I actually had to take time off work. I got signed off. And I did the whole going to the doctor thing. At first I thought, gosh, can I actually do this and go and say that I think I'm like having some kind of breakdown, or I'm just really, the mood was so low. I had times where I would be in bed and I wouldn't even want to open the curtains, I stayed in that kind of cocoon, and almost the curtains signified me shutting out the rest of the world and shutting out reality, I guess. So I would do that. I could happily stay in bed, get up, maybe eat if I felt like it. If not, you just munch on stuff. You go through the motions, and as a mother, I still did, you know, my duties. I got up and I'll see to the kids, but then you just you go back into that little box, and I continued to do that for quite a lot, a long time. Going to the doctor and explaining to them how I was feeling. It was a little bit difficult because, again, you know, thinking about how I was raised, about kind of not speaking outside of the home. You know, for me, it was very strange going to this perfect stranger, and having to pour out my innermost thoughts. But I must say, in doing that, I actually did. I felt quite relieved because they were a stranger, and they didn't know me from Adam, as they say. I could just really get everything off my chest without fear of any judgment. And I think that was another part of not taking this step previously, because you think about how people are going to see you, if they're going to judge you, what are they going to think of you, and does that break down the whole idea of who you were to certain people if you then say, actually, I'm not that person because I feel really crap and I'm struggling, you know. But I decided to take that step, and I went. And then they said, okay, we're going to get you some sessions and talk, so you can talk to someone. So I went to talking therapies. You know, I waited for the consultation by telephone. And even in all of this, I was still questioning, gosh, should I be doing this? Is this the right thing? And even I remember going to my first appointment. And I'm smiling because I'm just kind of replaying it in my head, literally walking up to the clinic where I was going and thinking, oh my gosh, like if anyone sees me. And it's so silly when I think about it now, because the place that I was going, you could have been going there for so many different things. You know, they had so many different things within that building. But in my head, I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, you know, who's going to see me? They're going to think like, oh gosh, what's she doing here? You know, those kind of things. Again, worrying about what people think. But I went and I spoke to this person, and it was, I don't know, it's literally like, you know, like when you have a bottle of fizzy and the air has built up so much in there and the bottle's really, really tight, and then you undo it and then it kind of bubbles over and it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. Literally, that was my mouth. I literally started talking and everything just came out, and it was just, you know, one thing was leading on to another thing, and it just, you know, when people say verbal diarrhea, sorry for those who don't, you know, but anyways, I'm just going to keep it real and I'm going to explain things how I can explain it. Literally, it just all came out, and it was so uncontrollable. It seemed like I just needed to release that pressure and let it all out. And so I said, you know, I spoke and I cried, and it was that kind of deep crying, sobbing, as though, you know, you're feeling this physical pain as you're releasing everything. And yeah, so they, you know, I was signed up because, you know, you get these block sessions, you have a certain amount of sessions, and so you know, so forth. So we, you know, I went through, had my sessions. I was still going to work at the time, but it was a struggle, and I'm very thankful to my manager, and she was amazing. She was amazing. She was very, very supportive, and just basically said, you know what, forget about everybody else, forget about it, forget about the job, forget about family, forget, you need to sort you out, and if it means you have to sign yourself off, then you need to sign yourself off. And even in that moment, I thought, wow, this is really bad, because I'm literally saying, oh, I can't do this. And I started just, again, questioning myself and thinking, does this make me a failure because I'm, you know, I can't, you know, I can't even do my job, you know? And my job at the time was supporting other people. And, you know, my manager just basically said, you know, how on earth can you support others in this state? You need to get you right first. And I thought, you know what, she's right at the end of the day. And I want to be the best I can be for my job. So I need to get myself right. So I did take time off work. And in that time, you know, I went to the doctors. They gave me antidepressants. They gave me sleeping tablets. because I wasn't sleeping. There was, there was so much, and I'm so anti medication. Like, literally, I would figure out why I've got a headache and try and address it that way than take a headache tablet, sorry. But I took the medication, but even taking that, I had this little voice saying, kind of, should you be taking the medication? And I was kind of having a little bit of a battle with myself. I think looking on, seeing other people as well that had taken medication and the effects that it had, and then I had the fear of, gosh, what if I start? Am I going to be able to stop? All these kind of things was going through my mind, and I just felt that I'd almost lost myself, because everything about me, I just started to question, and even in that struggle, I still didn't let people know exactly how deep my issue was, I still decided to paint on the smile and carry on doing what I was doing. And it was what kind of resonated with me when I think I had to fill a form out or something like that, and it was to do with like your employment, because in the end, I actually I did leave that job. It wasn't just the whole mental health. It was quite a few things together, but I did leave that job. But then filling out forms, I had to fill out forms to do with like absence and stuff like that, and why were you absent? And because when the doctor fills in the form, and when he's writing his notes, he puts low mood and stuff like that. So you're putting those things down, and then I start questioning, thinking, wow, is this what I'm going to be seen as now? I'm going to just be seen as this depressing person who's going to kind of want to hire me when they look at that kind of thing. But I still, I still tried, because I did want things to change. I think at that time I just didn't really know how to, until I realized, and probably, I think, seeing my children, they are the biggest inspiration for me, to kind of just be right and be in the right space, because I feel that, you have to, you got to practice what you preach. And I'm always saying to my kids about, dealing with stuff, talking about stuff. So I decided that I needed to figure out exactly what was going on with me, why I was feeling depressed. And there were a lot of reasons. There were things that I felt I was living not for myself a lot of my life. I was literally trying to please, get validation from others. And I got to the point where I said, you know what? I am going to do what I want to do, and who don't like it, see you later. And right or wrong, it worked for me, and I needed to do that, because I was in such a space that if I didn't do something, it could have got dramatically a lot worse for me. And I just want us to just really look at, even as parents, you have to be so mindful. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. I'm not. No way. There's no such thing. And I'm learning every day, and I'll make a mistake tomorrow, and I'll move on, and we'll learn from it. And I'm going to continue to make mistakes, because we're humans and we make mistakes. But for me, as a parent, I encourage other parents to, from a very early age with your children, please communicate with them. Let them know the importance of being able to speak to you about absolutely everything, anything, without fear of judgment. Allow them to be themselves. Allow them to live the way they need to live. I'm not saying you're going to, allow them to do things that are going to cause them harm, but you have to allow them to, live their own life. And you need to also make them very aware that no matter how many mistakes they make, it's okay, because they're human and they're going to make mistakes. And it should be, a good thing for them to be able to come to you with that mistake, and for you to guide them so they don't repeat that mistake. I'm talking about experience of, you know, growing up and then now as a mother, just learning from certain things, you know, because, you know, what's the point of, you know, you make mistakes and then you don't learn from them? Pointless, right? Mistakes are there to be made. We get that, yeah? It's not a failure, it's a lesson. And I have learned so much, and I'm in the space now where I can literally talk about everything. I can keep it very, very real. Some of it I won't say on here because, yeah. But if I have a conversation with you, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. And I don't have that feeling of needing validation, because I validate myself at the end of the day. I am who I am. I am amazing. I am a queen. And I want to help other people recognize their greatness and their power within. And we don't realize, we underestimate ourselves. We really do. And it's a journey. It is a journey. And I again, I appreciate everyone who tunes in to watch me every week. It's a pleasure. Again, I said last week, it's so good and it's so refreshing and satisfying when I get good feedback in terms of just making a difference to someone. And I'll say it again, that is my goal. I would want to be remembered for making an impact in people's lives. It's not about popularity or anything like that. It's not about fame and fortune. I want to be remembered for making a difference to someone. And that's why I continue through living my truth and showing you my truth and hoping that it can resonate with someone out there. And if I can inspire you, if I can motivate you to make those necessary steps to make sure that you are okay, that your mental health is okay, that you are living for yourself, you're not seeking validation from anyone else, then you know what, I'm doing my job right. So for now, I'm gonna say goodbye. I will see you midweek. I'm going to jump on a Wednesday. I am looking to do a midweek check-in. We'll be starting that one in a couple of weeks. But then again, next Friday, we will have live BB Laid Bare, and it will be a continuation of mental health, and I will have a guest on with me. So for now, take care, guys. Be safe. Just be positive. Be positive, because as low as you possibly can feel right now, things can get better. Take care. Bye for now.